Second, we will work with our universities and colleges. Just hold that for a minute. We will work with our universities and colleges to implement a tuition freeze. Unfortunately, in today's economy, with the constant tuition increases, a college education, which is more necessary than ever, is getting further and further out of reach for the average student. We've got to turn that around. Working with our university presidents, I believe we'll be able to do it. And third, we will use every bit of leverage available to us at the state and federal levels to force credit card companies to stop charging outrageous interest rates. Too many of our citizens are caught in an ever-rising tide of unmanageable debt, and these companies do nothing to help them. In fact, they help put them over the edge. This has got to be turned around. We'll do everything we can in Lansing, and if we need to, we'll go to Washington to get this fixed. And finally, we will restructure our tax code. We will work on this together with business and labor and the communities to make sure that Michigan is the #1 place in the country in which to do business. Michigan must be the #1 place in the country, if not the world, to locate and start a business. If we love jobs, if we love labor, we must love business. We have got to roll out the red carpet and not the red tape in order for business to grow. We will get that done as we have in Lansing. In short, we will put people first, and we will put jobs first, because that's what this campaign is all about. The people I stand with here today define who and what this campaign is all about. Regular, hard-working people who love this state, as do I. Like me, they know that we are in the fight of our lives to take Michigan back. We've come too far. We've been pushed to our limits, and we can't afford the same old tired political rhetoric about getting back on our feet. I was always taught that to make some change, sometimes you have to be willing to make trouble. And you have to be willing to shake things up. Let me assure you, I'm not afraid of taking on the insiders or the well-connected political players. At every step of the way, the insiders told me to wait my turn and let one of their cronies get ahead. I took them on to get to the legislature and again to become mayor of Lansing. I don't intend to change now. So if you're looking for an insider who will put partisanship and special interests first and working people second, I'm not your guy. If you're looking for someone who's rich and out of touch with the concerns of ordinary citizens who struggle every day to make ends meet, I'm not your choice. If you're looking for a buttoned-down, blow-dried, business-as-usual politician to be your governor, well, I guess you can see that's not me. But if you're looking for someone who will take the bull by the horns, who won't back down from a challenge, who will make the tough decisions to get our state back on track without blinking, then I'm your candidate. If you are tired of the same old broken record, broken promises, partisan politics that has led us to where we are today, then join me and let's show them how it can be different. I'm your candidate. If you want a governor who will get up every morning ready to fight for Michigan's future, ready for the fight of our lives, then I'm your candidate. The road ahead will require us to rethink the very structure and function of our state government from top to bottom. Believe me, there is vast room for improvement. It's a little-known fact, and this is truly astonishing to me, that our state government left more than $2.4 billion in federal dollars on the table last year that could have and should have helped our citizens in this most urgent time of need. They can't even find a way to raise the matching funds to get more than $2 billion in federal aid to fix our roads and bridges and keep 10,000 Michigan citizens working. That goes beyond penny wise and pound foolish. That's just plain dumb. Particularly in this time of need, this is the very sort of short-sighted policy that we will fix when I am governor. We will make decisions based on common sense, like bringing back every dollar to Michigan that our residents pay to the federal government. And we will make the tough decisions that have so far escaped our current leaders in Lansing. When it comes to sustainable job growth, we know there is a direct link to quality public education. The cheap talk by politicians about children being key to our future will be replaced by action in the Bernero administration. I really need this. Thanks much. We will ensure adequate and stable funding for quality K-12 education for all Michigan children, because our future depends on it. And we will bolster the early childhood education that is so crucial for lifelong success. Now you can count on me to do right by education because our family has a demonstrated commitment to public education. I want to introduce you to my Chief Education Advisor, my wife, Terry Bernero, my strength, my compass, and the principal of Luton Elementary School in Lansing. You can count on me to put our state government back to work for Michigan families instead of the special interests. Far too often it is the lobbyists who control the agenda and write the legislation on behalf of our elected lawmakers. Far too often campaign contributions grease the skids for legislation that benefits merely the special interests. And far too often the legislature puts up the facade of action, as we saw recently with their limits on health care for elected officials, for future legislators, that apply to everyone except themselves. In a late-breaking amendment that was gavelled on by the Speaker, they eliminated the current legislators from the legislation. It's exactly that kind of gamesmanship that leads to cynicism and distrust in government. We're going to turn that around. Too often, state government ignores the people while catering to the wealthy and well-connected. Quite simply, I believe that our public agenda policy should never be set by the highest bidder. We need to rip control of state government from the powerful and return it back to where it belongs, to the people. I come from working people. This campaign will be of, by, and for regular working folks. It's well past time that state government gets on our side. During the course of this campaign, I will be proposing ideas that will often upset those in power. My message to those defending the status quo is simple. Get out of the way or get run over. The people's agenda is coming through. It's time to make the business of making Michigan work again our only priority. The road ahead will be long and arduous. It will not be for the faint of heart. It will require us to think differently about things we have long taken for granted. It will require us to embrace rather than fear change. My friends, you know as well as I do that continuing down the path we're on is no longer an option. Not for us, not for our children, not for our Michigan. We have to set new goals and chart a new course back to prosperity, back to the future that we once knew when Michigan was on top of the world. Remembering that Michigan that once soared is a reminder to us now that we must raise the bar on our own expectations. It reminds us that we are capable of greatness if only we have the courage to reach for and work for something better. I reject the new normal that says our children and grandchildren must accept and learn to embrace a future that has less hope, that has less quality of life, a lower standard of living than what we had. Understanding our past pushes us boldly and knowingly into the future. My friends, the Michigan I grew up in was known around the world as the great state of Michigan. And I promise you, we will be that again. We will be that again. We will be that again. We can only accomplish this together. Michigan's turnaround will not come by leaving some of our residents behind. We need the talent, the ingenuity, and the experience of all of our people to find success. Today, here in Detroit, and in Grand Rapids, and this evening in Lansing, I will be turning to the citizens of this great state of Michigan and asking you to join me in the fight of our lives. It's the fight of our lives. This is Michigan's 11th hour. It will be a tough fight, but we've been there before, and we know what it takes. A great team, a bold vision from where we will lead this state, and the unstoppable power of all of us working together. Not just the wealthy, not just the top, but all of us working together, our shoulders to the wheel, all pulling in the same direction to make it happen. Are you with me? Glad to hear it. Then let's go get it, because we've got a big job ahead of us. This is the fight of our lives. Together, we're going to make Michigan work again. Thank you. Thank you so much.